Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. They just gave their general manager, Steve Keim, and also their head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, new contract extensions through the 2027 season. That came right before the NFL Combine. That makes a lot of sense. These guys are going to put in all the work to evaluate players and draft players and do interviews and represent the team. You want to know there's financial backing behind you. Fair enough. It is kind of also funny timing, though, because the Cardinals quarterback, Kyler Murray, wants a contract extension as well. I'm going to open my phone to pull up a weird statement. Kyler Murray put out a weird statement kind of sharing his thoughts and how he feels about getting paid and the contract negotiations going on. Apparently, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now, he gave the Cardinals a proposal. I want this much money. Give me a long-term contract. And the Cardinals have done absolutely nothing. They haven't budged. They're like, we don't want that. Like, sorry. And I would guess Kyler Murray's asking for an absurd amount of money. Let's get into the statement Kyler made. It's way too long. I'm not going to redo the entire thing. He says, I'm going to read you what's in bold and then kind of go through some of the smaller stuff. He says, Kyler absolutely wants to be your long-term quarterback. It's a statement from, by the way, Kyler's agent, Eric Burkhart. He said, he wants to be your long-term quarterback. He desperately wants to win a Super Bowl. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak much louder than words in this volatile business. Kyler remains hopeful that the organization chooses to commit so that he can continue leading the Cardinals to further success and value for many years to come. Now, between those couple things I just read, there is like paragraphs of content and writing, and it's absurd. It's very extra. He talks about how, he came in and in 3 years they improved by 3 or more wins every year. He was tasked with being the day one starter. They list his stats. They talk about how they're in a loaded NFC and an NFC West. It's really competitive. He won Rookie of the Year. Like, they're just listing his stats so far in the league. And, two-time Pro Bowler, 24 years old, who led the organization. It's weird. And when you read the whole statement, I'm not going to read it here. I think it'd be boring if I read the entire massive statement. But listing the stats and accomplishment, two-time Pro Bowler, led his team to 3 or more victories in every season he's played, day one starter. Like, it sounds like something your friend or your dad would say about you to like hype you up. And a lot of people, Larry Fitzgerald, for example, came out and said that his dad is probably negative influencing him. I think Kyler's dad is negatively influencing how Kyler feels. Because, look, I'm close with my dad. But my dad's not that guy, but we've all seen dads in sports that are, quote, that dad. The overbearing dad who's way too involved, who's like, man, he goes to every baseball game and is yelling. And I'm pretty sure Kyler's dad is that guy. And Kyler is on a 4-year deal, a rookie contract. By the way, he signed a $23.5 million signing bonus. Like, it's not like Kyler's never been paid. And somebody is telling Kyler that he needs to get his money now. Like, someone's telling Kyler, you deserve to be paid. You need to make more money than you've made so far in your career. You need to secure the bag long term. This team needs to commit to you long term. Does that sound like Kyler Murray speaking, or does it sound like someone in his corner who's trying to tell it? Sounds like his dad. I think that's Kyler's dad telling him what to do. And there's no way that an agent, Eric Burkhart, looked at that. He didn't type that. Like, who came up with this massive statement idea? Because that is not a good idea when you were in contract negotiations to make this weird statement. Somebody who isn't very familiar with contract negotiations in sports decided, we got to put out this massive statement. I go back to probably Kyler's dad. That's an assumption, but I'm not the only person talking about how Kyler's dad probably is influencing what's going on behind the scenes. What Kyler really needs to do, rather than put out a statement, is A, win more games, but B, step up as a leader. Did anybody watch that playoff game against the LA Rams? It was embarrassing. It was shameful. It was horrible. And as things got worse for the team, he shrunk and got smaller and smaller and shriveled like a raisin. I want a quarterback who's a galvanizing leader, that when things go bad, let's go, guys. Let's get going. Defense, pick it up. Offensive line, come here. We gotta figure this out. You gotta pull your guys together and rally them. And That's not at all what Kyler Murray is as a leader, which is horrifying and not good. And I'm a Kyler Murray fan, at least I thought I was, but he's turning people like me against him, let alone Arizona Cardinals fans. And as he said, actions speak much louder than words. How about shut up, zip it, and go play well in a playoff game? Then you earn the contract. You shouldn't have to beg a team for a contract. It should be, oh, we better pay Kyler or else we're screwed. Kyler hasn't earned the massive amount of money he's probably asking for, and he's very good. I feel good about him. He's done some good stuff in his career. He's very talented. But it's kind of absurd for a player to be begging for a massive contract when, in my opinion, you've done good, but not enough to earn this. I mean, if Arizona wants to give him a little more money, like I don't know. I just don't really understand, and I think it's very weird that Kyler is already begging for more money, and I don't know. I guess these are two topics in a row. I talked about the baseball, the MLB lockout, and now Kyler Murray talking about money. I'm sorry to talk about other people's money. These are the two biggest stories right now in sports that I care about, but I don't think Kyler Murray is taking the right approach at all. At all. And if I were him, I'd put my head down and get to work. And whose idea was that statement? It wasn't the agent. There's no way an agent would be like, yeah, let's put. Have you ever seen that happen before? I've never seen an agent put out a statement like that before, begging his team for a new contract, let alone a quarterback who I've got big questions about as a leader. And I'm getting less and less impressed with Kyler Murray the more I learn about him, the more I see him operate. And I'm getting more and more concerned about the guy, honestly, and I hope his dad is not negatively influencing him, but I fear that he probably is.